Hello, this is Phil at digitaldjtips.com taking a look at the new Reloop Mixage digital DJ controller. This is the interface edition, which has a built-in sound card, and it's at the bottom of the Reloop range underneath their very successful Digital Jockey 2 and their brand new Digital Jockey 3, which we actually have here in the studio and we will be bringing you a review of very shortly. But let's start with looking at the functions on the Mixage controller. It's stripped down, it's quite a small controller, so there's a lot of stuff missing from here that you would find on bigger controllers. However, it does have a bit of everything and some nice functions of its own, and it's all inside a very nice metal case. It's got a metal top, metal chassis, a little bit of plastic down the sides, but a lot of the buttons and the jogs and the sliders and so on are the kind of thing that you would find in a more expensive controller from the same company. So you're getting a stripped down rather than a badly built, if you like, version of something that might cost you more. It pitches in alongside the Mixtrack Pro, I would say, but the build quality is a difference between those two. The Mixtrack Pro is a blast to use, but it is a very plasticky piece of equipment, very different looking to this one. Okay, let's have a look at what this has got. Along the bottom we have the sync and cue and play pause buttons, which you've just seen me use to get the track playing. Here we have a jog wheel which can nudge, or it can be in scratch mode. Which works just as you would expect it to. It's quite responsive, not really very it's hard to put into words. It moves a lot of music for a small amount of movement. Let me show you what I mean. There's a lot of beats moving there, which in a record, that would be maybe that amount. So it doesn't feel like vinyl in that respect. If you're used to vinyl, or if you're a turntablist, then you're not gonna want to try and scratch on this. But for everyone else, it's tight enough. You notice there was a small pause there built into the mapping when you take your hand off it, but you can stop that by throwing it in. I'll give that a 7 out of 10 as far as scratching jog wheels go. It's not the best I've ever used. The Vestax VCI 300, for instance, has got lovely jog wheels that don't in any way ever give you the feeling that you're not using vinyl. Certainly when you're used to them. This isn't quite there, but it's not bad. So there's your jog wheel. I guess one more thing I should tell you about the jog wheel is a strange thing I've noticed, which is that the nudge function that slows it down and speeds it up doesn't work so well when you've got a scratch on. Scratching is done with a metal top plate, but the edge is nudge. It does nudge it, it does slow it down and speed it up, but not progressively. It's either on or off. That's a little bit slower, and it doesn't matter how fast you do it, it remains just a little bit slower, and the same for going faster. Whereas without a scratch on, it is progressive. So I'm really not sure why that is. Probably a small glitch in the pre-production mapping, and hopefully they'll sort that out. And finally, with the jog wheels, you can scrub very quickly through a track using this function here. In fact, you can get through a whole track with one turn of a jog wheel. So you can quickly move around your track and find the place that you want. Okay, that's the jogs. We have pitch controls here, which have a middle click and a light, just like a Technics record deck used to, but luckily there's no anomalies going on around the click, unlike with our beloved old Technics. The EQs are good, but they don't knock everything out like I would personally prefer. However, they're good. Maybe a little bit more reach would be nicer on them. You have a filter as well, one on each channel. The good old tractor filter, sounds great. Nice to see that in there. That's the kind of modern controls that makes this controller stand out. Separate gains for each channel and VU meters, so you can see yourself coming in or out of the danger zone. These cue buttons double up as hot cues, which is nice. You can set 4 hot cues very easily at the bottom here. That's good because, again, it's something you don't normally see on controllers, on many controllers at all, with this kind of size of button and this ease of beat juggling. So I like that. And then these areas here contain the looping and the effects. Pretty basic. The looping kind of does what you need it to. The effects, you can select between effects, but only in one track to effects slot, and you only get control over one parameter other than the usual dry wet, which I would prefer to see a little bit more. But I think Reloop are trying to give a controller here that gives the new DJ, or the DJ who wants something smaller, enough to do a varied set, enough to have a taste of everything, but without the masses of buttons and complication that you get in some DJ controllers. Okay, what have we missed out? The usual ability to scroll through your library with a big track selector here. There's also a master and a headphones control, and a curious little horizontal fader for your headphone mix to mix between the cue track and the main output, but I like that. Microphone at the front, headphones also at the front, and round the back the only output is a double RCA. There's no balanced output, and there's no input for record decks or CD players. This isn't going to bother you unless you're trying to use this as the only mixer in a club, as the only unit in a club, which would be highly unlikely, because this will allow you to plug straight into a normal mixer. This is what you expect to see on a unit that plugs straight into a normal mixer. And then in a club, that mixer would give you the booth control, the recording outputs, the PA outputs, all the things that this unit doesn't have. And round the back we have a control to dim the LEDs, which is quite nice. A little bit unusual to see something to allow you to dim and brighten all the lights on your unit, and great for working in dark clubs or for working in sunshine around the pool or whatever. And there's also a sensitivity control for the jog wheels. So in a nutshell, that's the Reloop Mixage DJ controller. A little bit of everything in a great chassis with some high quality controls, and hopefully if they price it right, we don't have a final price at the moment, it should carve a little niche for them and prove to be very appealing for people looking for a professional looking controller, but maybe without all the bells and whistles and without the associated high price of the more expensive controllers, both in Reloop's range and in other manufacturers' ranges a little bit higher up. If you'd like to read the full review that accompanies this quick overview, you can see it at www.digitaldjtips.com/mixage. That's digitaldjtips.com/mixage. Thanks for watching.